Hi everyone. Today we're going to take a look at Meridian. Now, before I share my screen, obviously I am recording this on Tuesday, so where the market has already opened since I've been recording this. But like normal, this is for education purposes only. It's certainly not intended to be personalised financial advice or anything like that. Reason I've chosen Meridian this week is it looks pretty exciting. There was some pretty exciting news that came out last week, and it's certainly reflected in their share price. So let's jump across. So here we are. Here we've got Meridian on the screen, and like I just said, I'm recording this on Tuesday, so the market's already opened, and sort of we're a couple of hours into the market open here. So we're sort of seeing that it's come off about 2.8% just for the day, which sort of is really no surprise. Looking here, this candle here, what a big jump. Okay, so that was, according to my screen, it was about a 44.5% rise, and you can see that on the volume and that as well. So there was an undertaking there with Rio Tinto. They have certainly gone in and invested into the Tiwai Smelter Point. I'm not sure if they've actually put in a bid and bought it, or whether they've just got a 10-year lease on it. I haven't looked right into it, but it certainly was really positive for most of our utility companies, and most of them, when I was doing my research over the weekend, certainly showed this sort of performance here, or this sort of candle for the week, like what we're seeing in Meridian. Another good thing to note as well, that basically we've obviously had a bit of a dip, if you like, or a bottoming in the market here around October last year, and then since then Meridian Energy has been performing quite strongly, and every week since then we've really only got about 5 or 6 candles that are actually red, meaning that the market closed down for the week. So that is a really strong indicator, because like everything, and I used to say this when I used to give people financial advice, is a market can't keep breathing out forever. It's got to take a breath in, and that's how I describe these weeks where we've got red candles, because the market has closed lower for that week than obviously the week previous, but it just can't keep breathing out forever. But it's certainly been a very good steady rise. So we'll go and pop on our indicators, our moving averages, and if you follow me a lot, I always use the 30 exponential and also the 15 week, and you can certainly see there that the performance of the share market has certainly moved away from these moving averages, which is indicating a very, very strong market. Now, if you saw Tuesday where I did the NZSX 50, quite often a market will come back to these moving averages. Not always, but quite often they will. And you can see that through this earlier period here as well, through 2022 to 23, that the market didn't move too much away from these moving averages, or when it did, it came back to it. So you can see about November 22 right up to February 23, where the market did move away, and then it had a slight pullback, moving averages caught up, and then it ran again. And sure, we did dip below that. In fact, the moving averages crossed at around October last year. They then hit what appears to be a bit of a bottom a few weeks later, and has started rallying. And then back at around December last year, the end of the year, we then saw the moving averages cross to the upside. So that's where the 15-week moving average crosses through the 30. That usually indicates that a market is, or a share in this instance, is in a bit of a growth phase, which is great, and that's certainly what we want to see. Now, something I spoke about on Tuesday, and I do pull up each time we do a share and review, just to see how that share is performing in relation to the main board, so the NZSX 50. So we'll do that, and so as you can see here, and like I spoke on Tuesday, this is certainly one of the companies, one of 14 companies that is outperforming the new NZSX 50. And so it's these companies that are actually dragging the overall performance of the NZX 50 up, which is great. It'd be good if we had a little bit more participation. You'd actually then see the NZSX 50 certainly performing a lot stronger than what it is. It's sort of going really sideways. But yes, it's companies like this that are certainly outperforming it, which is great. You know, it's a really, really good indicator. So for me, if you do follow my share trading signals, then Meridian is one that I have held in the portfolio, and obviously it has certainly been a good performer. And if you're following those, remember I've moved my stop loss up, so that's something that's important as well. For those that are unaware of a stop loss, I use, and you can see it down the bottom here, the ATR, or the average trading range. So that's roughly how often you could expect a share to move in any 1 week. And I use a multiple of that, a multiple of 3, and take that off where the share closed for the week. Without looking into it, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly where the stop loss is, but it gives the share room to move. And if it keeps moving up, then obviously I move that stop loss up as well. So that's something else that you might want to jump across and have a look at, is the share trading signals that I do. But hey, Meridian, like I say, it's performing well. It's certainly one that I like. We'll just take a look at it over the 5 years. I'll just take off that. Obviously, like a lot of shares, it did hit a high round here in January 2021, like a lot of shares did, and it slipped way back down. And we saw that with a lot of markets. We weren't immune here in New Zealand. A lot of international markets and individual companies did exactly that. You had that very, very sharp decline with COVID. And so anyway, it sort of meandered sideways, but as you can see here, it started taking off again, which is fantastic, which is what we want to see. So I hope that's helped. And like I always say, if you'd like me to do a share and review and just cast over what I look for when I'm doing my reviews, happy to do that. Just pop a note in the comments. Until then, have a great week.